Hey, here we are. We're going to be talking a little bit today about lesson 2 of chapter 1. The title of lesson 2 in chapter 1 is called Looking Inside Cells. So basically, what we're doing here today is we're going to be looking at what kinds of things are found inside of cells, kind of like looking inside a person or inside your body. There's all kinds of things in there, and they all have specific functions and reasons for being there. And so that's kind of what we're doing for cells. We're going to be looking inside of cells, looking at what those parts are and what their functions are, what responsibility they have towards the overall functioning of that cell, and maybe even talk a little bit about what happens if they're not functioning properly. First, talking about some things that all cells have in common. All cells have a cell membrane, and the cell membrane is kind of like the security guard at the door, or the gate at the entrance of a compound. Uh, it's responsible for controlling what goes in and out of that cell. There are times when the cells will allow certain things in, like water, and there's other times when more water is available to go in, but that cell membrane will block that water from going in. So it controls what goes in and out. It's also helpful, besides letting needed materials in, like oxygen or food molecules or water, it's going to allow those other molecules, those other things that cells don't need, to leave, like waste products, carbon dioxide, those kinds of things. Besides cell membranes, all cells have cytoplasm. Cytoplasm basically fills up the inside of the cell, kind of like water filling up the inside of a water balloon. It kind of takes up that space where nothing else is. Um, Cytoplasm is made mostly of water, but it's not exactly 100% liquid like water would be. It's a little bit more gelatin like. Um, I wouldn't quite say jello because it's not quite that firm. It's a little bit more fluid than that, but it's what fills up that space inside the cell membrane. To give you an idea of some sizes of cells, cells can range in all kinds of sizes. To give you an idea, the second bullet point here says one human egg cell is like a dot of an eye. And when I say a dot of an eye, it's not the dot of an eye on this screen. It's a dot of an eye, maybe like in your textbook. Um, that's pretty small. Human egg cells being pretty small. Well, on that same dot of an eye, besides being able to put one human egg cell, we could also put 10 red blood cells. Pretty small. Red blood cells are those that move through your bloodstream and help carry oxygen to your cells. Each of those red blood cells is equal to about 8,000 bacterial cells. So if you multiply all that, okay, you're looking at about 80,000 bacterial cells on the dot of an eye. So bacteria can spread pretty quickly. They are pretty numerous, or can be, and can get more numerous fairly quickly depending on the type of bacteria and the conditions that they're in. When we're talking about the shape and the size of a cell, the shape and the size of a cell gives us some information about what it does, what its function is. Some cells are long and stringy. Okay, if we're looking at a couple of examples here, we see that a muscle cell, like if it's going to move your arm or your leg, a nice long striated shape here. It's got the nucleus in there, but it is there. That shape helps it do its job. If it's attached to a bone on this end and a bone on this end, when it contracts and gets shorter, then those bones are going to move. Red blood cells have this round frisbee-like shape, and they are made to help move easily through your bloodstream. They've got all kind of small blood vessels they got to squeeze through, so they have a kind of a squishy type of arrangement to them that allows them to get through those blood vessels. Nerve cells are responsible for carrying nerve impulses from your brain all the way down through your body to your muscles, and then providing feedback back to the brain. So these long tendrils, these long, I don't know, almost like branches, if you want to call it that way, that shape helps that nerve cell do its job.